it's very simple to add video. It's very simple to, that's just an example that I used. So like, for example, if, I want to go with my theme, I want to go with my music and I want to add some music. I can add you can add your own music. So if there's something you've made, and I'm going to talk about that here in a minute, where there's a couple sites. Let me add one more here or somebody else. I go to my participants to see if everybody's in. Okay, cool. One more. Chat. Who's saying something to me? All right. Okay, so Malik, you're with. Okay, that's fine. You don't have to talk. It's work. All right, so so if I want to add this cup of sugar or whatever it's called, you can add that. And the whole purpose of the impressions is to promote your skills with photography, and I just kind of went basic with my techniques per se, with like texture, depth of field, like right there, just, showing tree bark, and everybody's really, this is a real good depth of field. I mean, you take something normal like trees and then get in a closer tight shot, and then this is what you got. So let's see here, make sure that, all right, so go ahead and add music to it. Like I said, you don't have to, but that would be a good touch. So because I have added, so the next project and we video, what we're going to do next week. This is the main reason I wanted to meet with everyone, so everybody understands. Like, so you have your logo. This is just an example logo that I designed. Okay, it's plain Jane. Make sure that everything you do, you drop that logo on it. Drop the logo on the bottom right. However, that's the whole purpose of doing the logo. Okay, this is my brand logo. So like when I do a video, I'll drop this in. Edited by Mr. McGuire Media Arts. That just shows every time they see that, then it's an edit right there. Okay, but what I want to show you is, like, so yesterday, like, my daughter works at a horse farm. She has 2 horses. Okay, and so I'm going to create a video, and this is an example of one of the videos that I took of her cleaning off. And she's laughing at me because I'm using this, this could be a vlog, a video blog. This could be a how-to. This could be a documentary. This could be a special series. It could be anything. Basically, I just use my cell phone. I've got 11, I know, but still, if you just use your cell phone and some things you're doing with it, Okay, so what I've done is, like, she's done some shows, and this is like some of her awards and things. So remember, when we talk about B-roll, B-roll is like something like this could be B-roll right here. Okay, so, and then you have pictures that you're taking. Okay, and the whole purpose of doing the Spark unit is to kind of get you all out and take some pictures. So when we do that, like, this is like a landscape where you see, the horizon line. Say side profile of Casper, her horse. This is a thoroughbred horse. Okay, so what you're trying to do is, like, when I say B-roll, just because, all right, I'm going to play this video. All right, and this is an overtop shot in the barn that she's in. Okay, now I'm speaking because I don't know whether I'm going to use my audio or whether I'm going to mute it out in video and just use this as B-roll. For example, I could be talking to Allie, my daughter, right there, about her horse Casper, being a thoroughbred and like his lineage and like all this other cool stuff. And I could just mute my voice and you could just see this, as a part of the B-roll. So remember, when you're taking footage, you need to take more footage than less. And you see how, and again, I'm using my cell phone, you see how smooth my video is. Now right there, when I go to the left, kind of rocky. It's not like perfect in all spots, but the cool thing about Wii videos, you can slow it down. Got all these files that I'm using, these are all pictures. The JPEGs are pictures. That's her with a fawn. Actually, I think that's a boy, that's a girl. So this horse right here is a son of this horse. This horse right here is a daughter of this horse. So that's my son there. And basically what I'm doing is like I said, you can do a how-to because there's things in there where she actually walks the horses. And let's see here. So, and the reason I want to show you what I'm doing is, again, this is all taken from video footage. So she is trying to have my son get on a horse. Okay. So this is the process. Now what I've done is let's say I want the audio. So here's the audio. Okay. But in this case, she's not really talking to the camera. So this could be a situation where I'm just, showing the process of how to get on a horse. And there's a lot of footage in here that I can use while she's walking the horse. Like this one right here, that's a really cool shot of a horse that was up in my face. I was patting the horse, on the side of the side of the head and the fur and everything like that. And so, these are shots where when you make your video, again, more is better, more footage is better. Thanks, enjoying it. And then everything that you want, that you're just going to go to your media and you can upload your media. Okay. Now, my suggestion when you go to your media right here, let me move this up. You're going to click plus and upload. But before you do that, it would be my suggestion to create a new folder. For example, I'll create a folder and I'm just going to call it Alyssa horse footage. Okay, and the reason is because you want to organize what you're doing. So in this case, I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click add media. I'm going to browse and select, and this is on my desktop where I can go grab it. Okay, and also if you notice, make sure you put your logos in there too, because once you add some media, like for example, let me go ahead here and find Allie McGuire horse footage. Let me just throw a video and a picture in there. I'm just going to put 2 in there. And you can see the process of the videos being uploaded, okay, to the folder. When you start a project, you're going to go right here and go new, create new project. Now, this is important. This is what I want everybody to see, okay? When you do a project, instead of going personal, you need to make sure you choose collaborative. Okay, you choose collaborative. And the reason you choose collaborative is because you're going to add me to it. So like, for example, we'll just call this, I'll call it horses in the bluegrass. If I go collaborative and click next, then I can add another, I can select a member, and then I can add the media. Okay, I'm going to go next and not add any media. Okay, so I'm going to start to create video. Now, what I would suggest, because I don't know how I'm going to add my media, is I'm going to go with a blank edit. I always like to go with I personally like to go with a blank edit because I understand the process. So here you are. Here's your video. There's where your media you can grab. Allie's horse footage. So if I wanted to grab a picture, you're putting the picture on the timeline, and that's the timeline you want to see. Audio 1, video 2, so on and so forth. Okay. And it works really well. And I'm going to do more. If you want to add more timelines to it, let's say you want another audio source, you can add that track, and that puts it right there. And the cool thing about this is it has audio built in, see, so you can drop that audio right there. And with the audio, you can, like, say, if I want to speak over the audio, you can take that audio and move it. Like, say, if I'm speaking right here, okay, for example, let's say I want to do a recording, like I'm talking to you guys right now, and I want to do a recording, so I'm going to record my screen. So if you're doing a how-to, this is how you would do it, okay? I'm recording and I'm recording as well, so it gives you a 3, 2, 1, and I'm ready to go. And now I'm recording my screen and blah, 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 blah. I'm recording and I'm done. Okay, and then it's going to automatically put it in the timeline. So I don't want my music to overtake what I'm saying. So that's why you can change your audio settings. So that's the process of using WeVideo. I'm going to talk more about like a few other things in my demonstration video. One thing before I forget, just real quick, if you have not gotten a yearbook and you want a yearbook, go to this site right here, and I shared it in the classroom, or I shared it on an email with your folks. You can get a yearbook, 2012 yearbook for $20, and they're done. All you got to do is click order now, and they're really cool. You put your name in, all that good stuff, and you'll get it. They're on their way in. We've probably only had about, right now, we've had probably 40 people pay for one. I think there's 150 coming in, so I'm not even opening up to staff yet. So make sure that you get your stuff in there. So what I want you to do is just really quick, let's go look at our classroom. Okay, the logo with Spark. Okay, and then the 5/7 impressions. Now I'm going to be pretty flexible on that. That's pretty basic. You know, you can use anything to create a logo. So let's look at the impressions. This is some of the things that some of your classmates have created. This is a cool one. Here's Deborah's. You know, and this is kind of a good example to show you. All right, so you got music going on. That's the whole purpose. Does everybody understand that? You know, the fact that you all need a logo, the whole purpose of us doing is you're branding what you're doing, okay? So that's that part, okay? Any questions up to this point?
No.
Okay, so let me show you something else really cool that I think you all will like. If you all will go to Google, okay, go to Google and type in, okay, music production for Chromebook right there, okay? Music production for Chromebook. Now, some of you all are saying, hey, can we make our own music? Well, you can. This is a couple programs that you can use. I was working with some of our 8th grade students last night. The one I really like is Soundtrack for Education, and I really like Audio Sauna. Okay, so if you go to Audio Sauna and look at it, you can. It's really cool actually. Okay, and it has all the different types of features that, like that keyboard maker that I have has. You know, here's your standard view, and it looks a lot like WeVideo in the sense that it has a timeline, you know, where you can layer tracks and things like that. Has a piano there, so if you want to go in there and play with that, that's really cool. I've started mine last night, just kind of messing around with it. So this is just a quick example. You know, can y'all hear that?
No.
Okay. Well, anyway, what it is like an analog synth, which is like a deep bass, basically. So you all play with that. The other ones, like Soundtrack for Education, is really cool too. So you can look at that, just log in using your school email address. Now, what I had to do is it's going to give you it'll give you like a month free you can mess with, but I think I joined this a long time ago, so I'm out of my time, but it's pretty cool too. So those are some things that you can look at. If you have a computer, there is a free open source software called Audacity. Okay, because I know music is very important to you guys. So an open source software is basically you have to have a Chromebook typically to use this. Okay, so I haven't used it much because I have like GarageBand and things like that. But what Audacity is good for is like if you have 2 songs that you have downloaded or 2 songs that you have MP3s of, you can like make your own mixes. And it's basically more for that than it is to create like your own beats. It's like if you already have current songs, you know. So like if I want to, I'll show you a quick example of this. See all this. Now what this means by open source, which means it's like kind of like Wikipedia. when you go to look up someone on Wikipedia, you have a chance to edit what's being said about a person. You know what I mean? So open source means everybody. It's not always true. So you just be mindful about what you're downloading. But these are just some examples of some things you can use if you want to make music for your work. So that's pretty much it for today. I will on Monday. I'm going to do a demonstration using what I have, and we will talk about what options that you can use, or you can, like say, you can do a how-to video. Like, so I'm going to give you a list. Like, so these are the options that you can choose to create your Wii video. Okay, you can do a documentary on a subject. You can do a vlog. You can do an interview with in a documentary of some sort. And I'm going to put it out there that way, like everybody is not doing the exact same thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So what you need to be thinking about is think about what you like. Again, I just went to a farm with my family, and I intentionally did this. Obviously, I was going to visit, but I was in the moment, so I just used my phone. Now, when you use your phone, make sure you use your phone and video sideways, horizontally. Don't video like this if you can help it. Video like this, okay? Because if you notice, it creates that's a whole screen that's a 16.9 high definition 1080p video. If you video vertically, then it's not going to be 16.9. And be very mindful about when you're videoing. Be very mindful about, I want you to do a panoramic shot. And if you do that, then you're going to have to be very, very slow. And everybody's got a phone. Now, if you just use your Chromebook, that's fine. Use your Chromebook and just be very, very still and use the camera. The camera's fine as well. And please make sure you all get things done. Some of your projects look really, really good. And I will share this recording with you as well. So, Annalise, can I see you real quick? Let me see what you got. Let me see what you're looking like real quick in the morning. There we go. So that she's with us. She's with us. I'm not going to take a screenshot. So thank you for being on. I appreciate y'all. And I hope you enjoy it. Don't worry about the grades. I'm not going to stress about the grades. Even if you have a 0 out of 25, that's just kind of hey, make sure you try to get this done. Some people have done some slideshows because of your struggle with Adobe Spark. But, all you got to do is ask me. You got to just ask a question, okay? So everything's pretty much at face value. I'll try to make all the footage that I can to help you. And y'all doing a fantastic job. So y'all have a good one. Y'all have a good weekend. We will see you this time next week. Text me, email me. I'll put my Google Voice number out there if you want to text me too. I'll put that out for next week. So you all have a good one. Bye-bye, guys. Go in and take some pictures and go through them. You could do voiceovers and things like that. Or you can just take your pictures, and then I just use Will Pyatt, logo at the end, and we were going to work on the Google site, but so that was kind of the 5 to 7 impressions. The whole purpose of doing the logos is so we can implement those logos in our finished product. So that brings me to us going to WeVideo. So if you have not logged in to WeVideo, you need to log in. Okay, so the process of logging into WeVideo, basically you go to that WeVideo.com, you click on Google, and then you just choose your email address. Now, when you choose your email address, the first time, I think I've logged in as Alex before, so he's already logged in. But the first time you log in, you just make sure you click on join with a school account, and then it'll get you going. So I'm just going to kind of give you some things about WeVideo and the process, and I've shown you some things already. But the cool thing about it is if you wanted to do a recording, you could record yourself using the webcam, the screen and webcam. So what we're going to do next week with our videography unit is we're going to I'm going to give you a choice of like a documentary, a how-to, a vlog, whatever the case may be. There'll be a lot of things we can do. I do, with the 8th grade, want to make a news broadcast. Okay. Basically, here's just a quick example. And let me touch base with everybody. Everybody with me? Everybody hear me? Okay. So yesterday I made my daughter has a couple horses. And so I made like a quick, potentially a documentary. This is my son in the barn with the horse. There's some things you can do. This is called B-roll. Now he's talking right now, so like if I wanted to, kind of do a setup, like I'm doing this right here, like if I'm doing a quick. So like there's some things you can do with that. Obviously when we talk about B-roll, you want footage, like you can use pictures, which are captions, just like what we did on the Adobe Spark project. This is another example. Now remember, you want more footage. If you're talking like, this, my project is called Horses in the Bluegrass. Okay. So this is my dog walking around as a dog on the horse farm, just kind of running around. What I did also is I got an aerial shot, okay, of what she's doing. And so like if I'm doing B-roll, this could just be footage where, just like you hear me talking right now, like, so for example, I said, hey, this is Mr. McGuire. We're talking about horses and in the bluegrass, and I'm getting some B-roll footage. So, all the footage you can get. If you notice, I've got quite a bit of footage for what I'm doing. I got her in the riding rink. And then, sometimes you want to get footage of just where you're at, so like say if you're going to do something outside, the more footage, the better. So you just think of like commercials, just think about like watching TV or a commercial that you see. How can you demonstrate what you're trying to do? Obviously you want you in the camera. And one thing that I wanted you to know is make sure when you do a video, and if you look at me right here, make sure you video with your phone horizontally and not vertically most of the time. Because in this case, I'm talking to the camera and I'm trying to pet the horse, trying to, do some, just talking about horses in the bluegrass. Because, in your video, you might want to be on it. You might not want to be on it. So that means you're doing all the footage. But if in this case, I'm actually holding the phone myself. And if you notice, it's really steady. So be very mindful about how steady it is. Now, the cool thing about it is you got a really cool background here. I gave a shout out to the Clover Farms where we're at. This is another capture of a really cool picture, and there's another of the same horse. He was called up in my grill. He wanted to be petted, so you can kind of see what's going on. This is a good depth of field picture. So at this point, does anybody have any questions about what we're doing? Anyone? Okay. So I'm going to mute everybody again. So let me show you real quick, like the process of putting footage into a video. So you always want to go to My Media, and with that, if you want to create a new folder, that would be pretty smart to do, specifically when you get started with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with Allie or Alyssa's horse footage. Okay. Now, if you notice, I have some logos in here that I've made, some edits by, it's my brand, produced by. Okay. So if I wanted to, so here's Casper, the horse that she has. If you want to mute that footage or mute that video, the audio, then you just go and mute the whole audio, because you might, like, say you want to talk over, say like, you want to do, like, have you ever heard someone narrate something? You're like, today in Kentucky's horse farms, There are many types of horses, and this specific horse is named Casper, and he is a thoroughbred, and it's 14 hands tall, something like that. You know what I mean? That way, you're like you're introducing things. You know. Now, one thing I will tell you is this right here. This is very important. This is the next level of branding. Okay, so let's say what you've done. I'm going to double click on that, make it smaller, and let's say if you want to brand what you're doing. Okay, this is how you do it. Okay, that's the process. So let's say I want that M in every part of my video. See how that works? So that's the whole purpose of the branding portion. Okay, is everybody with me?
Yeah.
Does that make sense, Cassidy?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the whole purpose of why we created a logo. Now, I probably wouldn't use that logo. I would probably use a different logo, probably use one of these, you know, because I like it better. But this is a really good example of why I wanted you to focus on a good logo. Okay. Now, there's a lot of things you can do with your footage. You can make it bigger. You can make it smaller. You know, like, and here's another cool thing. Let's say your footage is only that big. You can blur the background where you're always filling the image. Okay. Which is a really cool feature that they've just added. See, and it moves in the background, and the blurred images like the video, this video, but just blurred in the background. And another cool thing, and this might be a situation where one thing I like about it is this right here. This tells you where the image starts. Let's say you want the image to start right here, but then you want the image to end right here. Okay, so see how this works. See, so now you have a blur, and it's slowly moving from the top left to the bottom right. Do y'all see what I'm saying there? See how that works? So like, that's the one part of how to bring your viewer in. Okay, so the other part is, let's say I want to slow-mo this guy, but I want the beginning of it to be the video itself to be normal speed, and then I'm going to stop. I'm going to take the scissors, cut the clip, move it to right here, cut that clip, and then go to the clip that I just chose, and I'm going to make the video slow motion. Okay. Let me see if I can find it here. Where's that? There we go. So I'm going to make it a little bit slow motion. So I'm going to slow it down a little bit. So you go from the video that is regular, and you got the video moving to slow motion. See how that works? Like it's like the horse is moving slow motion. The whole footage is moving. Okay, that's the next step. And then let's say I want to do a transition, so I'll do a cross blur right there and a cross blur right there. So here's regular motion, transition into slow motion. So you can think of you could be like, you know, you could take a video of you and a friend playing one-on-one in basketball. Okay, and just video the whole thing, and then have people take pictures of it, and you have multiple people take pictures and videos from different locations. Okay, and then you can come back in and do a voiceover, or come back in and do audio and have no audio, kind of like if you want to do some audio, it's all right here. You know, you can, there's all kinds of audio you can use. Okay, now let me show you something real quick. This is you'll really like this. For those of y'all that love music, okay, there are a couple sites that you can go to for Chromebook. These are the Beat Lab, Soundtrack for Education, Audio Tool, and Audio Song. Okay, those are 4 apps that you can use with your Chromebook. Okay, so this is Soundtrack, which is really good. I really like it. But the one I like the most is probably Audio Song, and the reason is because you can make beats with it. You can do a lot of cool stuff with it. Can y'all still see my screen? Cassidy, can y'all see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna mute you guys real quick. So this is just something that you can use, and it's got a lot of different aesthetics to it. Soundtrap is a good one too. If you want to log in, like for example, I'm going to just use my regular Gmail address to log in. If it'll let me, here we go. So this is kind of what it looks like. And so like you can do all kinds of different things. This is a test project that I'm working on. Let's see here. Let me open it up. Let's see if I can. You can do a collaboration as well with other people if you want to. I mean, this is very similar to like if you had SoundCloud or something like that, but you know you can make your own music. So let me see if I can create, and you get a 1 month free trial with that. Let me see if I can create one. I haven't really played with it much. I know I got Malcolm Derricks on the music team doing some things with it. But so let me see, enter studio. Here we go. So here I'm going to enter the studio right there. And this way you could like, so if you want to do a podcast, you can, but you know, typically the whole purpose of having this is if you want to do beats, you know, then you can do beats, and there's your kick. Okay. You see how it's moving? Everybody see that? See these right here? These are measures. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 measures. Okay. 4 measures. And then you can go to your second measure. Okay. And then you might hit the hi-hat. You might hit the snare. You know, there's a lot of things you can do with it. Can y'all can't hear it, can you?
Oh,
but
no,
anyway, you can't?
No, we can't hear the beat.
Okay. So if you look at that, you know, that's a measure, that's a measure, that's a measure, and you can expand the measure, you know, as long as you want it, you know. And I like it because, like, for example, this right here is what we were going to use in class, this beat maker. Can y'all see the beat maker?
Yeah.
In my hand. So this is the beat. This is the MPK that we've used for the news broadcast. Okay. So instead of using that, then you know you can just. So I'm recording this. You know, and that's just if you want to just do layers, you can do layers. Okay. Add new track. Add new track. It can be from your microphone, piano, guitar, bass, whatever. Me personally, I like hitting the drum beats. You know, and doing some things with it. So there's a lot of things you can do. Now, what I would suggest when you use that is you go to File and save it. But then if you export it, make sure you export it as an MP3 file. You pretty much know that. Don't use it the mini tracks. None of this stuff right here, because that's extensions for other things. The MP3 file will work with everything. So before I save that, save as, we'll just call this Zoom beat with McGuire. Okay, I'm going to save it and it's done. Now I'm going to export it as an MP3. Okay, so it's going to export when it's ready. Okay, now what the wave is, that's pretty much for Microsoft and things like that. But if you want to, like I was saying before, if you're gonna upload something, if you're gonna upload something to your media, then I could go in here and just upload all of what I'm going to use for that project. Okay, so for example, I've got some music that we've made in class right here. And then there's some downloads that I'm on a Zoom. So I'm going to open that right there. Okay. And so I can put that with my project, okay, as an instrumental. But here's the thing, where I have that music with Franchise Boys right there, here's what you got to understand. The whole purpose of us making music 100% original is that when we kick this out, and let's say we're done with this project, and say I put this in there, okay, and I've got nice music, and I've got, you know, something really cool, and I go to finish it, and I export it, okay. When you go to finish it, I'll just call this Horses in the Bluegrass. Okay. You're gonna finish it with HD, and then I can go with my YouTube, right? So the deal is, when you do that, if you kick it up to YouTube and it is not a royalty-free song, and the group itself, like, there's not a whole lot that the franchise boys are doing right now, so they probably won't care, and it won't get taken off. But if you get something like with Drake, or something with Waka Flocka, or somebody like that, somebody more recent, or Suge, or whoever, then what it's going to happen is they're going to kick your video off. So be ensured that you make your own stuff, or change it enough, or you can come in there and say, with a text, and say, this, you could go in here at the very end of a video and be like, music credit to, you know what I'm saying? See how I did that at the very end. That way, like when in your, because you can do credits and all kinds of cool stuff. You can do all kinds of motions. Here's your citations if you wanted to source some stuff. Here's your end credits, and the cool thing about end credits, you can make them go up and down. So this is what we're working with video. So there's a lot of things you can do. Okay. So next week, what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a choice. It's going to be a documentary. You're going to create a vlog. You're going to create a how-to. It could be how to create a Google drawing. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a Google sheet, okay? And I'm going to share it with every one of my students and every one of my classes. It's about 180 kids. And I'm going to have things that you can choose. And I'm going to go in there, and I'm going to let you all see what everybody's looking at, what everybody's choosing, okay? And that way, where there's not a whole lot of duplication. Now, there's going to be some duplication. And again, when you're videoing, please make sure you video with your phone horizontal and not vertical. Now, sometimes you have to go vertical, but typically, for the most part, if you go, like this video right here was a horizontal video with my cell phone. So if I can do it with my cell phone, you can too. So at this point, does anybody have any questions about what we've talked about up to this point? Anyone? It's good to see you guys today. I see a lot of people that I've had class before. Hayden, Cassidy, Uriel, y'all doing okay?
Yeah.
Austin, y'all doing okay? Josh, Shayla? So we're doing a lot of cool things in class. Just real quick, make sure, this is something that I wanted to make sure you all understood. With our class, because I've had to kind of combine first and fourth period a little bit. Okay, I do want to do a newscast. That'll come probably in week 4. But next week, we're going to focus on making what we're doing. But when you go to classroom, there's a logo creation, okay? Make sure that you turn it in, because right now, I only have 3 that have been turned in correctly. Now, I know Cassidy has sent me some private emails, and that's okay. Any logo will do. Like there's one I can return, 25 by 20, 25 out of 25. Again, don't worry about grades per se. I'm kind of giving grades right now just to show what's going on. Josh, right there, you turned yours in, but I didn't have anything there. So what you're going to have to do is unsubmit, and return it in. D'Angelo did the same thing. So please make sure when you go into these classes that you are turning something in, okay? Let me show you the thing that is due today. Well, it's not due, but I would like for you to have it in, is this impressions. So if you all look at some of the ones, like in the example that I used was Cassidy's. And so Cassidy had some issues turning hers in. So what she did is she contacted me. So let me see if I can find hers. I know you had it. You sent me a message. Here's Maria's. She did a really good job with it. Okay. Had some audio with it. There's some depth of field that you see. That's just wood. Okay. You got rock, so what we're looking at was just taking captures, just creating 5 to 7 impressions. That's all we're trying to do. Okay. And just kind of getting the beauty of everyday things that we see. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a lot of them together and show the staff because we've got a staff meeting today. So I was hoping they would be done, but you might wait till next week. But one thing that I would like for you to do, if you could, the whole purpose of that logo should go on the bottom of the whole thing. It should be there the whole time. And then at the very end, you have your name. Does that make sense, guys? Y'all. So when I talk about branding, we talk about branding. That's what you want to do. Like for me to brand mine. Okay. Let's see. I think Will did it. Let me go to 6 period. Will Pyatt did it. This is what I'm talking. Now you can also do your name. So let's see here. Where's Will at? Here's his right here. Okay. So he did his a little different, which is fine. I wasn't. So see how Will's got his brand right there. He put William's brand, or he could just put Will Pyatt. If you wanted to use that, fine. Or you just do your logo, that's fine. Okay. So there's a lot of ways that you can do things with that. So that's what we got up to this point. That's pretty much, what I wanted to cover. Make sure that you see that there. Everything you need is on the classroom. Please keep going in there and filling out your attendance. If you got a question, let me know. Real quick before. Again, feel free to Zoom, if you need to Zoom privately. If you need to ask me a question, if you need to shoot me an email, I can throw my Google Voice number out there, but you all have done a pretty good job. If you know someone that doesn't have internet and they're having a hard time, please reach out to me and let me know. No question's a bad question. Don't stress about grades. I ain't worried about grades. I ain't worried about how things are going with that. I ain't worried about, I just want you all to be exposed to what we're doing, because this is, as you can see, this has become a technology world, and some of the hard work you all put in has shown from the last couple of years of having my class and other classes, but I know this is kind of our focus. So anyway, just want to reach out to you. We'll do this again next week. Let's try to, again, if you could reach out to your friends and make sure that I just need to get some attendance, better attendance. I'm getting better attendance. But next week's video will be really fun to do. So I will make some video demonstrations and, on how I do the horses in the bluegrass, and we'll go from there. So has anybody got any questions? Anyone? No questions, a bad question. Make me some good music. Surprise me. Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one.